red, ladies in red, ladies in red, ladies in red. Discuss the latest news, just fans giving their views. This channel is red. They see the bar and raise it, plus they rep for the ladies. Trust it's red. Female voices in football. Red. If you want to talk up, it's a red channel for me and you. Subscribe and tune into the ladies in red.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Ladies in Red. It's been a long time since I've done the show, but it feels like it's been a long time anyway. Big up to you guys for being patient with me in the chat. I apologise, it's been a bit of a mental week at work and then my dog's been ill, so there's just been so much going on. So I'm excited to talk to some of you guys tonight. And obviously there's been a lot of things that have happened this week with United and with other teams in and around us as well. I'm saying in and around us, we all know we talk about Man City, way above us at the moment. And we're going to talk about that big Haaland deal. We have to talk about that tonight. But firstly, big up to Brush in the chat. Hello to you. Big up to Lone Star. I see you there as well. Santiago, I see you. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a great week so far. Big game tonight, North London Derby, of course, which is why I've moved this stream slightly earlier because I know people are going to want to be watching that, as am I, to be fair. Should be an exciting game. Obviously, we'll get some predictions for that one as well. But let's get straight into some transfer rumours because, as you know, there's been rumours of Frenkie de Jong coming to United. Obviously, we know Ten Hag is a big fan of him. We know that he's worked with him in the past. And rumours are Barcelona do need to free up some funds. Obviously, he's one of their most valuable players, you'd say, at the moment. So Frenkie de Jong, rumours are United are pushing for him. The deal isn't close yet or anything like that, but apparently behind the scenes United are pushing, and that's a player that they would like to get in. I can see him playing under Ten Hag again, definitely in a United shirt. I would love that, but realistically, do we see that happening? And would we be happy with that happening? Would we be happy with that as well in United next season? Frenkie de Jong, obviously Donny should be back as well. I've also seen a few rumours today, a few teasing tweets about Darwin Núñez. He's a player that I said, look, I think we should be going for. Obviously, Haaland going to City. We need to be realistic about what strikers are available, what strikers are out there. And yeah, Darwin is a player that I rate highly. He's a player that I think, you know what, he can definitely improve us. Obviously, we want a player to rotate with Ronaldo up front next season as well. If Ronaldo stays, that's another debate. Is Ronaldo staying next season? And yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So I've touched on some of the transfers there, but I'm going to jump straight into it and get Aikavin on. Aikavin, how are you this evening?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good to speak to you again. Yeah, it seems like it's been a while. There's been a lot happening in the football world. What would you like to discuss tonight?
It's got news that Mitchell van der Gaag is coming to Man United as well. I think he's on his way. Fabrizio Romano just tweeted about the arrival.
Okay.
Yeah. We also I'm hearing Frenkie de Jong. The rumors have really popped up since last night, which is mad because considering our current situation and everything, I'm surprised a player of his caliber still wants to join us, but because of the manager, maybe I understand why.
Yeah, I'll get it. Yeah, I get it too.
Ten Hag is a manager, so I'm sure he wants to join the because I'm sure once Ten Hag wants to bring back De Ligt, and he wants to bring De Jong now, so they want to bring back Donny, De Jong, and Frenkie together.
Would you be happy with that?
Matisse, yeah, I would love that because those three went on to achieve better things. Although Matisse De Ligt didn't really achieve much, and Frenkie de Jong didn't achieve much. Neither did Donny. I still think maybe bringing them back together under Ten Hag now would be brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. And big up to George Coyle. Yeah, I'd love to get you on later on. And yeah, if you've got a channel, let me know as well because I'll definitely check that out for sure. But look, we have to talk about Haaland. We have to talk about that big deal to Man City. I know it hurts, but we have to do it. A lot of people say now that's it. Next season is done. City will run away with everything. Do you think it is like that? Do you think?
I don't think so. No, I don't. I think it could be that people overhyping up the situation and everything, and it could all just go down. Because we've seen the hype into this season. I get it. Man City are a great club. Like they're not a great club, but the way they're moving on is like they're a great club. But let's look at this. They signed Grealish, Chelsea signed Lukaku, United signed Ronaldo. Neither of them worked out well, did it? Grealish didn't win the Champions League. Lukaku didn't win anything. He didn't do much. Ronaldo did win the Golden Boot. Ronaldo is not winning anything as well at United. It can just be sometimes. I'm not trying to be salty about Man City, and if there are any Man City fans in the comments, I'm not trying to be salty. It can be the hype, and then it just leads to some fall. So
Mm.
I just think that people have to calm it down a little bit because it's a great signing, but they have to do more. I don't think Haaland's enough.
Yeah, it's a big step towards.
It's a big step.
Yeah, yeah. Look, he's a great player, Haaland. He's a player that I would
He's-
have loved at United for sure. Yeah, and they've obviously lacked that centre forward as well. You mentioned Grealish coming in, but obviously they've lacked that number 9, haven't they? And they're getting one of the best in the game.
I think Pep Guardiola's formation is more to do without a striker. I think it's more to do with a center forward.
Yeah,
It's going to play that center forward role, like Kevin, because I think Kevin De Bruyne was playing in that center forward role for the past
they play a false 9, don't they?
He was like a false 9, exactly. I think Pep invented it against the Real Madrid game, and then he won 5-0 or something. I'm not sure if that's true, but I think Pep was the one who came up with this formation, and that's why people use it today.
Yeah, well, it's definitely scary for next season. Hopefully, we obviously build and we improve as well, and we can get closer to City. Look, we can't be looking over our shoulders in and around us. We need to focus on ourselves. And I think for a long time now, we know we've been signing these big name players. We don't need to do that. We need to go out there and we need to look for quality. And those players that go under the radar, as we've often said, it doesn't have to be a big glamorous name. But if we did get Frenkie de Jong, I would be happy with that. I think he's a great midfielder. And like I say, because of his relationship with Ten Hag and stuff as well, like that would be definitely a move that I'll be backing. But what Barcelona, can you really see them getting rid of him? I know there's rumours they need to free up funds, but surely Frankie's one of their star men, you'd think.
It's up to Frankie. I don't think it's really up to Barcelona. It's because sometimes the club cannot get in the way of the players' decisions. Like we tried our best to keep Ronaldo, but Ronaldo went off to Real Madrid. But it was his decision in the end. We can't really decide for a player what they want. It's up to a player what they want to do with their career. So I think it's up to Frankie. And for me, I think if Frankie wants to leave to come to Man United, it's all down to Frankie. If he wants to wait and play Champions League football, he can wait and play Champions League football. But Barcelona do have to clear out their financial state. I'm hearing Spotify was going to buy their stadium. Was going to buy their club. I don't know the transactions happened yet. If that has already happened, I'm not sure what financial situation they're in right now. But but really, I think they should. But it's up to Barcelona if they want to let go or if they want to, if they want to keep him, or it's up to the player as well, because it's the days between the two clubs and the agent as well.
Yeah, well, we can dream, we can hope that the rumours are true. Exactly, we can hope. Eagle-eyed, I'll see you there. Eagle-eyed, if you can jump on, obviously you're welcome to come and jump on. I'd love to have a chat with you, obviously, as we are playing Palace soon. I think that would be a really interesting chat. But yes, I mean,
it's a really Barcelona journalist apparently. So I think it looks like it's gonna happen, but we shall see the progression. Because Fabrizio Romano just come out and said, no, there was contact, but no like real negotiation, like no bid, like no. Yeah. It was just a negotiation, I think.
Yeah, no done deal yet or anything. And as I always say, don't believe anything until they're holding that shirt up. But do not believe anything because United are linked with everybody and the dog because that's just what sells. That's what happens, and especially now with the rebuild and the fact that they've got a new manager and there's going to be even more rumours than there are normally. So yeah, it's going to be a stressful time for sure. But in terms of that title race, let's talk about that for a second. Obviously, City emphatically winning yesterday against Wolves. Liverpool obviously winning the night before that as well. Like, surely City have won it now, you'd think. Like, that De Bruyne masterclass yesterday, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It depends because West Ham are an uneasy team to play away from home. West Ham are not easy. I get it, Man City have to play City have to play West Ham. They just play Wolves, who they've blown out of the park. They have to play West Ham away now. And then it's never easy because West Ham are chasing Europe as well. West Ham are going for maybe the Europa League places because they got knocked out, so they want to go back and try again. So if West Ham do beat Man City, then the title race could be back on. But the goal difference does have that does have a say into it now. Now that Liverpool goal difference, it was better than City's, but now City's have upped the score in the past 2 games. I think they won. Was it 4-0?
5-1.
Yeah, 5-0.
Oh, 5-0 against Newcastle and 5-1 against Wolves.
Yeah. So the goal difference is now like 9 from and Liverpool have increased theirs by 1. So it's like around 8 now. The Man City have a better goal difference by like 8 or something. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 8. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The goal difference does have a huge say in this.
Yeah.
But I do think City will get over the line. I hope they get it because I don't want Liverpool to win the quadruple. But let's see. You never
Of
know.
course. And Real Madrid in that final, please.
Real Madrid, you never know. It's always the history and the fame of the club, that makes it so special. That's why
Yeah.
I think I'm holding for Real Madrid for the
Yeah.
final.
Yeah, definitely. Aikavin, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for jumping on again. I appreciate it. I will try and do one every single week. Obviously, like I say, apologies, this week's been a bit mad, but we'll get back. The ECL will be back very soon as well. But thank you so much for coming on.
Hopefully come on some shows soon as well. And again,
Definitely.
whatever you're doing.
Yes, definitely.
With a pleasure coming to watch your shows. Always
Thank you.
Always good fun. But let's hope the good times come back soon.
Of course. Keep our fingers crossed. Thank you, Aikavin. You take care. Cheers. So Aikman there obviously talked about the transfer rumours, Ten Hag coming in, what's his plan ideally. Frankie de Jong coming in would be a really exciting move in my opinion, and it's definitely someone I'd love to see. But I do have my worries, like we always link with players, aren't we? As I've already said, do we need to really go and spend a lot of cash on a big name player? Probably not. But if it is that Frankie does obviously want to come to United, does want to play for Ten Hag again, and then I'm all for that 100%. I think he's the kind of quality of player. Definitely improves. As I can see Brush there, waiting and Santiago as well. I will get you both on very, very shortly. And I'll start with you, Brush. But firstly, before I do get onto that, I have to touch on that Brighton game because I haven't really spoken about it. I mean, where do you start, really? Because it's just an absolute embarrassment. This club and this team at the moment is an absolute shambles. It's heartbreaking. And I think a lot of us are at the point now where we're just numb to it. We're just literally counting down until this season is finished and we can start that fresh with Ten Hag. But I just wanted to touch on it because I haven't really spoke about it. I could have gone live after it, but I'll be honest, what do you really say at that point? I remember messaging Curlers as well on Twitter and saying I'm literally speechless at this point because it's beyond despair, isn't it? But that's where we're at. I'm going to get Brush on to the stream. Brush, how are you doing?
Hey, Soph. I've been better, mate.
Oh, what's up?
Well, you know how they say like bad news comes in threes. So yeah. I was ill for most of the week. Had a terrible cough as well. Then on the weekend, obviously, what happened at Brighton, and then the news that Haaland's at City.
Honestly, you are right. It's been a pretty traumatic week for us United fans, hasn't it? I mean, it's a traumatic season, but this week in particular as well. I mean, that
this
Haaland
week in particular, it's just
It has. But like I say, I feel like we've kind of like it's made us stronger as people. Like I feel like I'm just numb to it now. It just nothing really phases me.
I think we feel like that all the time now, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, United have given me that resilience anyway. But yeah, what do you want to talk about tonight, Brush? And I hope you're feeling better as well.
Apologies if I do start coughing randomly. I literally just finished off a course of antibiotics today, so I'm actually up for chatting today. Right, so the Frankie de Jong rumours. Let's start there. I don't know how you're feeling about it. For me, I think this is just paper talk, to be honest.
I think that every time we linked with anybody, I'll be honest with you, until I see him holding that shirt. I'm just like,
as soon as Rangnick came in and we started getting linked to everyone from Leipzig.
Yeah.
So, yesterday, obviously, social media was going crazy with the Frankie de Jong news. Today, I heard some stuff about De Ligt as well. And I think all of these journos are just putting 2 and 2 together and getting 65.
Yeah, you're probably right. And obviously the Darwin Núñez rumours as well. He's a player I'd love to have at United.
Yeah.
But is it a case of, look, the big striker in Haaland's gone to City? Is it just like, you know what? Who's the name at the minute who's on everyone's lips in Europe? Who's that player who's looking for that big move, if you like? And Darwin obviously is up there. And like you say, just sells papers to link him automatically.
Yeah, that's what it is. And don't get me wrong, I think Frankie de Jong's a quality player. But at this moment in time, I'd have to question him if he chose to come to us.
Good point. And that's why I think we should look for those players that go under the radar. Those players who actually aren't quite in Europe yet, maybe.
I think if we were to go for de Jong, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because obviously he's a quality player. But the fact is, he's 25. He's going to command a high fee, and he's on big wages as well. So, are we replacing Pogba with another Pogba potentially?
I think the other way to look at it as well is the fact that maybe he's not enjoying his football at Bayern Munich, at Barcelona, and maybe he's thinking Ten Hag. Those were his best times. Obviously, he got the big move from playing under him. Maybe he wants that time back. Who knows? And obviously, being at United as well, a new project.
When I look at the age and everything else stuff, I just think that even if Barca had to sell because of their financial situation, If I were him, I would be looking at proposals from the likes of City and Bayern Munich, perhaps even PSG, and thinking, well, why would you want to choose United over that currently? It's the kind of signing that I would look to make in a year or two when we have a better understanding of what it is that we're trying to build.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, it's who buys in and who fits into that project.
Yeah, so because I've been speaking to a few people about it today, actually, and the best example I could come up with was, you remember when Liverpool added Fabinho, Alisson, and Van Dijk?
Yeah.
Because by that stage, Klopp had already built a solid foundation. He knew what he was working towards, and everyone, including us watching, could see what they were missing clearly.
Yeah.
At the moment, if you ask anyone what United are missing, we could name a whole 10, 11. We're missing everything, aren't we? Like, where do we start? So, I don't know if that's the thing that you do. Do we drop 70, 80 million on one player? And then that still doesn't answer our question of a DM,
I think it all comes down to how much they're going to invest in it. How much are they going to back Ten Hag with? If it's 100 million that I've seen quoted recently, then obviously you've got 30 million left out of that. You're not going to be able to build a squad with 30 million. If you're spending that much on
we need to be
like
very
Frankie.
shrewd in the market and start doing smart business. One other thing I wanted to touch on as well, Karim Adeyemi's the replacement for Haaland at Dortmund. I heard reports that United tried to hijack the deal at the very end. I'm pleased that that's the caliber and profile of player that we are now looking at and targeting. I'm also kind of pleased that he turned us down, because apparently the only thing we did was offer big wages, and our board and everyone above that runs the show, they need to understand that money is not the be all and end all. So instead of trying to attract these players with bigger wages, get to the heart of what it is that makes these players want to go to Dortmund. Like, they've spent the last couple of years really building themselves up as the go-to destination for young players to go and develop,
It was like that lad from Forest that the quotes came out, and he said, is it Spence who plays right back?
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, I love United. I've always wanted, it's been a dream of mine to playing for the club and whatnot. And I'm not saying we need everyone to be a United fan, but that's the kind of thing you want to hear to play for United because it's United, not based
exactly. You don't want them to come for these financial incentives and these other things. We need to look for young, hungry players, ones that want to come, ones that want to put up a fight, ones that have got a point to prove.
Yeah, but they also need to be quality. We need to add that in there. It's not all about the fight, that balance. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to share a few people in the chat. Big up to Lawbreaker. I apologise if there's a horrible echo. I can hear an echo. Let me know in the chat. I think we need to spend our money wisely, said Alex. Totally agree. Do you think De Jong would be us just signing big names again? And we've just had that chat, haven't we? It doesn't always have to be that big glamorous name.
Obviously, the fact that he has worked under Ten Hag is nice. And you are getting a certified superstar, and he's experienced, and he's at that age now where you hope that he would come in and hit the ground running.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
I mean,
and potentially with Donny there as well. Would that go some way to addressing things and having a ready-made partnership?
And hopefully building that foundation that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I apologise about the echo, guys. I'm having a little mess around with it. I hope it's still listenable for you at the moment. I don't know if it's me or Brush. Can you hear it?
I'll mute and see if that.
Can you hear an echo now? No, actually, it's gone now. I can't hear it now. Maybe it's just when I talk on your speaker. Maybe it's playing out loud. Who knows?
Yeah. I'll have to plug in.
So if you mute while I'm talking, and then I'll give you a chance to answer. That might work out a little bit better. But yeah, I'll just touch on the Brighton game. I haven't had a chance to talk to you following that. Brush, I'm not even surprised anymore. I mean, all season, it's been the same old, hasn't it? And I don't know about you, but I just cannot wait for this one to end. I just feel like it's been a nightmare from start to finish, pretty much.
Mate, it's an absolute shambles. Where do we start with Brighton? Like, I feel like even when we don't have expectations, they just, go below whatever we expect.
Yeah, we do. And I don't know what we obviously, I tweeted this saying we only performed for our last home game of the season, because it's almost like, we need to run a show because it's the fans' last time coming. And then it's like we go straight back to the right. And that's what annoys me about these players. It's like we can just turn it on and off. We've said it so often this season. We'll have one good half in a game. It's never consistently two halves, never a consistent 90 minutes. And these players, their attitude, it just stinks. I mean, players who are obviously ordering that they deserve to have a send-off and whatnot as well. I don't even need to name names. We all know who we're talking about. But it's a sense, for me, with this squad, and I've said it for a long time now, the sense of, you know what, I play for Man United, everything is gifted to me. I don't have to earn it. It's kind of just already there. Do you know what I mean? Like, these players don't want to graft for it. It's like there's a certain entitledness, I think is the word I'm after, with this squad. And that's how it felt this season.
The midfield was non-existent in that game. Cucurella was absolutely just running the show. It was mental, absolute shambles, and so disappointing as well to come from the back of that Brentford result, because we actually played well against Brentford.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's just because, you know, last game of the season, the fans were in. A few players were getting the send-offs, as you say. And it was almost like, you know what, we need to perform on this game. But then when you're expecting us to actually, you know what, can we have a final push for the end of the season? Can we finish on a high? And these players are like, nah, we did it last week. Like, we don't need to do it anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's just so frustrating when we know the levels they can hit. And we're just so far away from that.
Yeah, and at this point, I'd rather just see the kids on the last day, to be honest. And shout out to them as well for securing.
Yeah. You took the words out of my mouth. Shout out to them yesterday, obviously winning the FA Youth Cup. Great performance. Gone Nacho. I don't know about you, but he's a player I want to see more of definitely next season. Doing the C at Old Trafford as well and just following in his idol's footsteps in Ronaldo. I mean, you'd love to see that.
Absolutely. Like with all young players coming in, I just hope that our fans are patient and don't expect too much.
Yeah, I think so often we see that, don't we, where we overhype our players, or like the best young player in the world, and they've only performed like 2 or 3 times. We've only seen snippets of them. Jong is an example of that. I'd like to think Jong is obviously a talented player and whatnot, but I remember when he was first kind of creeping up into that first team, and people saying he was going to be the next big thing, next best thing since sliced bread. We do need to just calm down a little bit, like give them time. But that win yesterday, like at least that is a positive for the club, because it has been such a dreadful season, and to sell out Old Trafford as well. By the way, that's just magic as well. That's why we love this club.
I think, yeah, I mean, it probably says more about our first team than the fact that everyone's collectively so excited about this. Yeah, the Chongi one's a weird one. I mean, I was definitely in the camp a couple of years ago of people who were calling for him, and then he got that start against Norwich, and it was like, oh my god, you're so far off the pitch. Ridiculous. We just throw you at the deep end.
And Haaland, to be fair, to an extent, I know we need to see more of him, but obviously he's gone to Rangers. I know he had a good performance at the weekend, but hasn't really set the league alight as he's had his injuries and stuff as well. And I think he's another one that, obviously in the future, I'm not saying that he's not good enough for anything like that. It's too early to say that. But what I mean is, I think when we signed him, like already people were comparing him, like saying he's a young goat and stuff. And it's hard, isn't it? Because we get so excited as fans when we see this young talent coming through, because we were spoilt with the class of 1992. But yeah.
That's what it is. I think the transfer fee probably has something to do with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Comes with a weight of expectation, because I think we paid 18 million up front and then potential add-ons leading to about 40. It was craziness.
Yeah. But hopefully it pays off. Hopefully, because if it does pay off, then maybe we'll be like, you know what, that's the kind of move we should be making. You know what I mean? We get these players before any other clubs get in for them. That's what.
But I'll tell you what though, so I know you've got Rich coming on a bit later on. Michael Elise, they picked him up for £8 million.
I saw Rich's little roll of the eyes there. Keep your eyes off him. But yeah, you're right. You're right. That's the kind of recruitment I'm talking about, though.
That's the kind of recruitment we need.
Yeah, exactly that. And it could be like that Spence kid, who knows? But players like that who, you know what, just want to play at United, just want to make that big move in their career and can take us to the next level. But like
not to keep worrying, Eze is another one they picked up for about 20 million. He looks a quality player as well.
But you know what? They're the perfect model at the moment, if you like, of getting these players who no one really knew much about, young, promising. And I know he's on loan, but Gallagher as well from Chelsea. Like, what a season he's had at Palace. And it's players like that. Like, why are we missing the boat with players so often? And that's what we need to change.
There is a lot to be said for Chelsea's young recruits. Brozier as well is another one. Livramento is one of their products. Lamptey as well.
Lamptey, what a player. He's the one that I said I would be looking at a right back, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens in terms of how many positions we're going to get this summer. We've already said it, we need 9, 10, 11 players, but that ain't going to happen realistically. So it'd be interesting to see where we prioritise. But surely that midfield has to come first, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we need 2 midfielders, really, don't we? One definite defensive midfielder, and then potentially another one.
Yeah. Potentially, definitely. And obviously it depends who goes out as well. I mean, we full on expect Pogba's done now at United. Actually, I'll ask you this question, but this annoyed me a bit. I stayed off Twitter for most of the day because it was all I was seeing on my feed. But the video of Pogba dancing, obviously he was doing his calf recovery, and there's so many people getting rattled about it. It was unreal. Like, where did you sit with that, Brush?
Honestly, mate, I think it's nonsense. And I think a lot of people only saw the first couple of seconds as well. If you see the rest of it, where he actually kicks the ball into the net and that, it's just he's just having a bit of fun. Obviously, he's training, and the comparisons to that little 10-second clip of Keane, it's all mental. It just drives agendas, doesn't it?
I don't get it. I really don't. Like, why are people so rattled by that? Like, fair enough. Like, say he's obviously injured. That game against Liverpool, when he went off first few minutes, and they did pictures of him out clubbing, like full on dancing on the dance floor afterwards, and break dancing and doing whatever you like, popping and locking and whatnot. I could understand the frustration on the night of the game, but you can see he's literally he's obviously at Carrington training. As you say, he's kicking the ball afterwards as well. Like, surely you're allowed to listen to music and have a bit of fun with it. I didn't get the outrage really that I saw, but literally every other tweet was that Pogba video.
Yeah, it's crazy. You would think that these people thought that was the extent of his training.
Yeah, I just didn't get the outrage, to be honest. But Brush, it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope that you feel better soon. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me on. Speak to you again soon. Take care.
Yeah, always a pleasure. You take care too, Brush. Thank you. And straight up next, we've got Santiago. I'm going to try and get through these before, obviously, I know the North London derby is on, so I want to try and get through everybody. So, Santiago, big up to yourself. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you. A bit of a manic week. Work, vets, all sorts this week. So it's been a bit of a mad one, but I'm glad that I can actually sit there and talk football because it's therapy, isn't it? It's therapy. What do you want to talk about tonight? There's a lot of things already been discussed.
Yeah, I mean, I think to kind of answer what Brush said earlier, and I know he said Elise, but we got like Facundo Palestri for that amount of money, and one for the future. Still we never know, but it's one of those things where you hope that the people that we're targeting come to fruition, kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but I think there's a few folks that are out in the market, out of contract, outside of our team, right? I think we need with the amount of people that are leaving out. The amount of people that are leaving the team. We're going to need some depth, right? And if that means maybe having some folks like I don't know, Isco, maybe he didn't cut out Madrid, but you need some sort of just bench players. As long as you can set those expectations and say, hey, this is your role is going to be kind of like a squad rotation player. I think that's the one thing that Ten Hag does need to do is that employee management. That way you don't have a big squad who is all expecting to start, who is all unhappy because they're not starting every game, and it just kind of drives down that morale. I think the I guess we've sort of seen that development. I think a lot of those mistakes from this past summer, where players like Bailly or Lingard were expected to start for some reason. I don't know why we told them or gave them that expectation that they were going to just continue to be first team, regular starters when everybody knew that wasn't going to be the case. I think as long as you can set that expectation and have those kind of like I don't know, I think of like Chicharito, right? Like super sub quality striker that just knew like that was his role, like, and he was okay with it, right? It's not I guess not necessarily about I guess questioning somebody's drive, but I think questioning the fact that a team requires these pieces, right? And
you're right.
I don't know. I mean, I know we like there's certain players that I would like to go in. I know that we're getting linked with every Dutch player. We're going to get linked with every player that's ever been even remotely related to Ajax and Leipzig, and I'm sure all the it's. I think the De Jong thing, that's a smokescreen. He said in March himself that he was super happy at Barcelona. I think unless they're forced to sell due to their finances, I just don't see why he would leave. He's happy there. There's really no reason. I don't know. I've just sort of gone on a tangent.
No, you go for it. This is your time. Honestly, you talk away. I agree with you on the De Jong thing. Like I say, I don't believe anything until I see a shirt being held up by the player, and I can't see why he would want to leave to come to us right now. As Brush said earlier, like what is his motives coming to United in the state that we're in at the moment? It's a bit of a questionable one, unless it is that he isn't happy. Like you said, he hasn't said that, and he wants to come back to his old manager, if you like, and have that comfort. I just want to say as well, thank you to Nippon for alerting me to this, but Villa are delighted to announce the permanent signing of Philippe Coutinho from Barcelona on an undisclosed fee. So that's a big move for them as well. Great signing, you'd have to say. And I think we kind of all saw that coming when he did go to Villa, as long as he hit the ground running, which he has been decent for them, hasn't he, this season. Playing under Gerrard as well, like it all seemed to fit perfectly. And next season, I think it'd be interesting to see if he can recoup some of that form that he did show at Liverpool, because he was unplayable at times, wasn't he? And he has been, to be fair, for Villa this season. You can just see his class. But I mean, we're talking about players who've been out on loan for the like Chelsea. We mentioned players who've, like Gallagher, for example, at Palace as an example. Chelsea and teams like that can afford to loan these players out because they've got a strong enough squad to start with. With us, it's like we're signing players for the future, but actually we need to focus on now because we haven't got a strong enough starting 11. I can understand why Chelsea do that. Do you know what I mean? I can understand why City do that. I can understand why Liverpool do that, because they've got a squad that's good enough. They can afford to loan out these players. With us at the moment, we're signing players for the future when actually we kind of forgot about now. And it's kind of like this season, like shit has finally hit the fan and we've realised, oh crap, we should have been focusing on the first 11. And
Yeah,
that's
no,
how it feels.
I agree, and I feel like, I guess maybe sort of back to that man management, right? I think when Ralph came in, I feel like players like Martial and Donny were just so unhappy with their tenure at the club that he was just like, you know what, just go get some playing time. We'll kind of revisit this that
Yeah.
way. We don't know at the time we didn't know who the manager was going to be, right? And now that those players are coming back, then maybe those players can get a new fresh restart. I think I guess Coutinho is a perfect example of somebody that wasn't maybe cutting it at their club that they were
Hmm.
at, but that doesn't mean that they can't revive their career, right?
Yeah.
um I think De Ligt, and I know we're starting to see the rumors again, Ajax and all that, but has he really been cutting it at Juventus? I haven't seen much of it. I know that he was struggling when he first came in.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then maybe that's a good person to bring back to be under his former manager and do all that. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess, what are your thoughts? Like, do you think that we're gonna go and do the usual like big player signing, or do you think that we're probably gonna go with a different direction? Because it seems like Richard Arnold is going totally different ways in a lot of the way that the club is moving.
I think over the last few years, obviously we've been disappointing, but at least we've kind of papered all the cracks. We've qualified for the Champions League and whatnot. This season, obviously, we failed at that. The performances have been woeful. We got battered by our rivals. I don't think we can keep continuing scraping along in the manner that we have been. I think this season feels a bit different to me. Obviously, with Ten Hag coming in as well, the team in and around him changing, with Ralph hopefully moving upstairs and whatnot. It feels to me like actually we've finally woken up and smelled the coffee and we've realised, you know what, like we've been blagging it for a while now. Look, we're behind, we're struggling, we need to change our methods, it's not working. That's how it feels for me this season. And I hope that I'm right on that and that we are going to see a different method, because it's clear that what we've been doing isn't working. We're falling further and further behind. But the recruitment has got to be really, really smart, because it's Manchester United at the end of the day. Teams will rip us off for certain players. You just know that will happen. And that's why we've got to be crafty. We've got to be looking at people who are nearing the end of the contracts and stuff like that. And I'm just hoping that we are scouting and we are looking at not just the big names, but the players who actually, as I always say it, but those players who go under the radar a little bit. And my example that I always give was Robertson at Hull. When Robertson was playing at Hull, I remember him tearing it down on the left-hand side, and I remember watching him a few times and saying, you know what, he's talented, he's a good player. Liverpool signed him, and now look at him. And
Yeah.
I've been scratching my head thinking, why are we not going in for these kind of players? Like, why are we going in for these Galacticos when it doesn't work?
Hmm. No, I agree, and I think too, like you have to also look at certain things that maybe could be certain factors, right? Like when a player looks at Old Trafford maybe leaking, right? Maybe the
Yeah.
facilities at Carrington, like, are you going to say those are the top of the notch facilities? Probably not, right? So maybe you have to start looking at all those different things, right?
It
I
all adds
know,
up.
because I mean, I guess and this is something that you see a lot in university sports here in America, whether it be for American football or basketball, where all these universities have just the craziest of locker rooms and facilities and all sorts of things, just because they need to have that edge on competing with every other university in the country for to
Mhm.
have people to take them to the next level, right? And
Yeah.
so these are things that I think we also need to start taking into account, especially in the modern era of social media, where players are going to be posting where they're at, and are going to be looking at some of those things. I know it's not that shouldn't be like the main reason to come to a club. I would question if somebody came, chose a club over another one because of uh, the year
Yeah.
that the locker room was revamped. But if it's outdated, then it's gonna be a negative.
Yeah. This is a good question from Alex. Says, who is my Robertson? So good buy at the moment. Lamperty, if I'm talking of a fullback, would be one that I would definitely keep my eye on. Obviously, injuries are a bit of a worry at his age, but I do think he's very talented. Too many is a player that I know a lot of us would love at United. Young up and coming player. He's another one I would definitely be tempted by. And someone like Timber. I know he's from Ajax, and you got that link. But that kind of young up and coming promising. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, to be fair, but that young up and coming promising centre back who you'd obviously foresee maybe partnering with Varane in the future. But yeah, I think centre back is another position that we do need to strengthen, especially with the likes of playing out from the back as well. You won't be players who are comfortable on the ball, and we can't play out from the back at the moment. I think if you're being blunt, the levels of passing out from the back from us, even from, and I'm not being disrespectful to Palace here, Rich, when I say this, but most teams in the league can pass out from the back, and then you watch us, and that's just something that we struggle because we just move the ball far too slowly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I guess to answer that question, mine would be like Gravenberch. I
Yeah,
don't know if that's what
yeah.
his name
Sure,
is,
mention
but
it just. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
just
The reason I
there's
haven't said him, to be fair, is because I was under the illusion that Bayern Munich had practically agreed terms with him. I thought it was all, it's not confirmed yet, but very strong
yeah,
rumours that he's going to Bayern, and that's why I didn't say him. But Camavinga was another one. Zakaria obviously was very, very cheap, another player that we could have gone in for. But these players are not massive, massive names, but quality players. And like I say, nearing the end of the contracts, or you could get them for a decent price. Bissouma is another one that I think we should be looking at.
Cassier was out of contract this summer,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we
Yeah,
did, and and we know he's a United fan because he wanted to come to United last season.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
just some of those things.
Let's just hope that we missed out on all those players that we just mentioned, because we've actually got some plan in the pipeline, and we haven't seen a plan for a long time. But like I said, this season it does feel different. It does feel like we are all pulling in the same direction in terms of the new manager coming in, Ralph moving upstairs. Even though what Ralph has done since he's come in, like I think it's been pretty clear that he was in to do the dirty work. He was in to out these players who obviously didn't want to play for the shirt. They obviously didn't have the right mentality. Obviously wanted to leave the club and whatnot. Like he has no loyalty to these players, and he's shown that, hasn't he, week in, week out, by constantly picking them. And it's been annoying for us as fans, and obviously it's been awful. But I can kind of see why he's done it as well, because basically all the pressure has been put on those players. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is on
Do you
them.
think maybe
I'm not
some?
saying he's innocent, because he's obviously, like I say, he's been picking these players week in, week out. But I genuinely do think he's been doing it for a reason, for the greater good. And this isn't hot fuzz. I ain't saying it as a joke, but obviously for the long haul, that basically these players need to go because they're just not United quality, or they don't want to be here, or they haven't got the right. You know what I mean? And I think he's had the dirty
Yeah,
job, really.
yeah. Do you think that maybe those hard conversations have been had? Because it almost feels like when that I don't know if I guess when an employee puts in like that 2 week notice and they know they're gonna be leaving, it's just suddenly
Yeah,
you see a drop off in quality. Like, and I'm talking outside of football, right? Like this is just like
yeah,
your
yeah,
general day to day job. I feel like that almost is what it looks like. I feel like some players have been told like, hey, after the season, you're not getting any game time because you're just not good enough,
yeah,
and it almost feels like because of that, just the I'm not, of course, not everybody, but I feel like certain players are going to take that criticism and just not go with it, right? And then just
hmm,
going to be like, all right, well, it's probably best for me to just let the season be over, and I will figure out my, I guess where I'm playing once the
yeah.
new manager comes in or whatever.
Well, that's exactly the issue, though, isn't it? Mentality, that not willing to fight for the badge. That, you know what, I'm just going to down tools and give up. Then we don't want that at our club. You know what I mean? We don't want that. So in a way, he's done his job, Ralph. I think definitely. But Santiago, it's been an absolute pleasure. You've been great to chat to. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you having me on too.
Hopefully, I'll get you on again. And hopefully, you have a lovely rest of your. What time is it where you are?
It's about 2 p.m.
Oh, there you go. Not too bad then. Not too bad. Hopefully, have a lovely rest of your afternoon and evening. Anyway, take care. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. I got Rich. How you doing, Rich?
Good evening, Soph. I'm doing good.
evening.
Good yourself?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. Big game, obviously soon between. Well, big game. Say big game. It's
big game for you guys.
I hope we play our kids. Genuinely, because Palace, I think this season have looked great. To be fair, and we mentioned there about like our recruitment and whatnot. And as a Palace fan, like, can you openly see that as well? Do you see that? Like, you must be excited now with the nature of the players that you are now starting to recruit.
It's unbelievable, and fair play to Dougie Freedman. He's like kind of pioneered everything we've done, especially looking at the Championship. And 5-10 years ago, that's not something Premier League clubs would have done, you know. And we've managed to pick out the best out of the Championship. Eze, Elise, you know. I know it's unlikely we'll get him, but Jed Spence, we are actually looking at him. But I think he will probably end up at United, you know. Which obviously leads me to the whole Wan-Bissaka talk. If he is going to come back home, I just want him on loan.
Would you want him back?
Not as a permanent. I think we can spend our money better elsewhere. We've got other positions to cover, to be honest. Yes, we do need a right back, but we don't have any cover at left back. We need another centre back, you know, a CDM, and maybe even a goalkeeper. Because if we're playing out the back, our goalkeeper's got to be better on the ball as well, to be fair. So, exciting times for us. And not so much exciting times for you, apart from Ten Hag coming, obviously.
Yeah. We're just waiting for this one to close off, obviously. You must be buzzing to play against us, to be fair. You might be thinking some more goals, obviously. Brighton absolutely peppered us. You must be thinking, I
wasn't happy about that, so I don't really want to chat about that. I was thinking, no, not them. Oh, man. You know, they've not finished above us for like 10 seasons or something like that. And they're just going to start chatting like it's a trophy. They're literally like, how should I explain? How Tottenham get mad excited when they go above Arsenal, but we're not sort of thing. So
yeah. Well, Santiago said they will Palace finish above Brighton.
We'll have to wait and see. I think we can win our last 3 games. So it's just whether or not they drop any.
You can definitely beat us. And I heard so much, but like any game now, like I genuinely think, you know what, if we win, then it's a bonus. But that's my mindset at the minute, because we've just been woeful. And I think, like we keep saying, we can't wait for the season to end. I think it's very much like that for a lot of these players as well. You can see that by the performances that they've been putting in. But yeah, as a Palace fan, you must be absolutely buzzing for next season and excited to see what's going to happen in the summer for you guys. Because as I say, like obviously Vieira's come in, he's done a great job. Gutted that you couldn't get into the final of the cup, to be fair. I was rooting for you.
It was gutting, but listen, we were meant to get relegated this season, so
the bonus you're getting there.
It's massive bonus, and we can still actually finish 9th with an outside chance of 8th, a very slim chance. I think if I look at the later table again, a top 10 finish for Palace. Wow, you know, definitely a very, very good season. You know, Rush, get out of there.
Elise, for 1 second, what do you think?
We've just tied on Elise to a new deal.
I don't blame
him. He had a relegation clause of 35 million. So we've just kind of like we've given him some more money and upped his release clause to, I think it's like 60 or 70 million now.
So what's the case? Like Gallagher, obviously, he's won. Did he win Player of the Season for you guys? He did.
He did.
So is he going straight back to Chelsea now? Yeah,
I think so. I think he is, because I think Tuchel wants him in this midfield. Now the question is, does he want him to start or be a squad player? So Gallagher's got a big decision to make with the World Cup in November and not in the summer. Yeah. Because if he's not starting any games in August, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
You know.
Would you take him to the World Cup?
Yeah, I would actually. I think he deserves it. But the England squad never gets picked based on merit.
No, it's like Sancho, isn't it? Like Sancho was left out of the last squad, which baffled me because when Sancho first came to United and he wasn't playing well, obviously he hadn't quite settled, he got into the squad. And then when he starts hitting form and playing well, he's dropped from the squad. And I was just thinking, like, he must be thinking, where do I stand? Like, what do I need to do? Like,
It's
it just
crazy.
didn't add up to me.
I know
Did not add
no
up.
slander to Grealish at the time, but he wasn't playing well.
No, it wasn't.
You know, so
No. Yeah.
it is crazy.
But City, and let's talk about the title race. Let's go to the other end of the table in a minute. But City and Liverpool, obviously, neck and neck at the minute. City, after that win yesterday, how comfortable, obviously, with the goal difference as well.
Yeah.
Do you think it's theirs now?
I think it's done now. I think the goal difference now has made it done because
Yeah.
City can afford to lose a game and such. So that's
They're just
huge.
ridiculous. Like obviously De Bruyne yesterday was the De Bruyne show, like with his finishes,
4 goals.
just his vision. Like he's just one step ahead of everyone in the pitch. And when he's in that mindset, he's just unplayable.
Yeah.
It kills me to say that. Chelsea fans must be livid. Every time I see De Bruyne playing well, I always think Chelsea fans must be thinking, what did we do? Like you could have had that. Yeah, and actually, yeah, crazy. Southgate is just fixated on his faves. It just feels like that way. Gallagher is going to pick us apart, said Alex. Yeah, probably. Not just Gallagher, Eze, Elisa, all of them. There's a whole list of them. Was there any player from the Youth Cup final? Yeah. Delo and Telles, probably. Was there any player from your Youth Cup final who looked like a Foden or a Pedri for United? Garnacho, I think every time I see him, he impresses me. But again, like me and Bruce spoke about, I'm not going to get too overhyped and too big him up too much. Obviously, he's training with Messi as well for Argentina and whatnot. He's been training with the first team. All good experiences, scoring in that youth final as well. Stay grounded with him, but I do think he's the one bright spark at the moment, the one who's standing out for me, the one who looks the biggest talent, if you like. But we have got quite a few talented players. I mean, it depends on the style of play. We're talking about Garner, obviously, has been at Forest last season. You mentioned players from the Championship. Garner had a great season at Nottingham Forest, and I'm sure Ten Hag will have him in his mind as well, thinking, you know what, could he possibly come up? He could be like a new signing, if you like, next season. Glazers would love that.
Absolutely.
But he's done well, Garner, to be fair. He's done well. I think he deserves a look at for sure. But obviously, you are playing us. Hand on heart, then. How many goals do you think you're putting past us?
If Maguire starts, 4. If he doesn't, 3.
So you're saying, you didn't even say a replacement there. You're saying if Maguire's there, you automatically get 4. If there's no player there, literally
if it's like a Varane and Lindelof, I think it'll be 3. Yeah. I mean, and it's not so much that, because you lot might even play well. I just think it's going to be the last home game at Sellers Park. It's normally always rocking anyway. You know, and the boys will definitely want to give out a good send off.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm really confident.
That was because we only turned up for our last home game of the season. So Hannibal hopefully gets a proper run out next season, says Brush. Yeah, Hannibal's the one. Garnacho and Hannibal would be the 2.
Actually,
yeah, he is.
You know, with the Frankie de Jong situation.
Yeah.
Here's why I think you will get him.
You think we will?
I think because he's not really been in favour with Xavi. And they've also now just signed Kessie. And they're a club who are trying to get their finances back in check. You know, and if he's sitting on 400k, they kind of want to get that off their books, to be honest. So, for that, do
you think he would be a good signing for us?
You have McTominay in for it. Yeah, he's a good sign.
I get that.
He's a good sign.
I get that. But think about sorry, my speaker went all weird then. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
The speakers went proper weird then. But obviously think about, you mentioned wages there. 400k. We also have obviously got to try and conserve our money. Apparently Ten Hag isn't going to get that much money. We've already had the issue of giving players way too much money and then giving them contract extensions and whatnot as well. Do you think that's the kind of deal that we should be making at the stage we're at right now?
I guess the turning point is the fact that it is Ten Hag and De Jong's played under him.
Yeah.
If you had Poch in, for example, and you wanted De Jong at front, and then stay clear, because obviously there is a rebuild of structure, wages, player profile, and such. But De Jong's played under Ten Hag and very well, you know, and he's a great player. Players. Could you imagine him and Donny in the midfield now keeping the ball?
Yeah, you know, exactly. That's exciting. But the only thing that worries me is that money. If he's only getting, like I said earlier, say if it's 100 million, that's what they're going to invest in him next season. Ten Hag, 70 million, and that goes on someone like De Jong. We know we've got to invest in a lot of positions.
I think you could get him for about 50. I think Barca are trying to up his price and such, but I think.
But still, that's half of the budget. Then, we need to sign I'm talking a CDM, possibly another midfielder as Brush said as well. Centre back would be nice. Either like left back and right back, but potentially right back.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what I mean? Like maybe a backup striker. That's at least 5 there. And we want quality players. Teams, like, we don't get ripped off for players. We just do because it's United.
You are. And I think this is where you need to actually go and look for the unknowns.
Yeah.
You know, that's where you're going to start rebuilding. So, I mean, obviously, it'd be difficult to get the likes of Timber, Anthony, as much as obviously they played under Ten Hag. Ajax are going to know you're desperate. You know, like how we did. We went out, got Eze, got Elise. Like, no one knew who they were. Nathan Ferguson, who looks promising, but he just can't stay fit, unfortunately. Hence, we need a double right back. You know, and then bringing your academy boys. We brought in Mitchell. He's been brilliant for us.
Yes.
So there are players out there.
We've got a fullback as well in the academy. A lot of people talk about him on here, Fernandez, who again I think he's one that we should have a look at pre-season when Ten Hag does arrive as well. And Dante made a good point. Boubacar Kamara is on a free, 22 and a beast. We need him. De Jong, bringing Ghana and Donny and one more centre mid, possibly Tolisso, also on a free. And we're going places that McFred can't dream of taking us. But yeah, that's what. But I'm not saying them players in particular, but that's the kind of deals we should be looking at. Players who are near the end of their contracts now, players who maybe want to get out, but they're still quality. Do you know what I mean? They're still quality players. And you are like the unknowns, if you like, or the players that go under the radar, not the big Galacticos. If you can get someone like you said, Frankie de Jong there for a cheaper price, of course, but the salary is also a concern, isn't it? We will see what happens. But let me give a prediction for the Palace game then, based on what I've witnessed over the last season. I think our fullbacks you mentioned are in trouble. I think because it's your last home games in the season as well. Our players, when they go and get stuff, simply don't want it. And I think that the pressure from the fans and whatnot as well, I do think we'll buckle under that. I don't think you'll batter us, but I think that it'll be a close game for you. I don't think we're going to threaten too much. A bit like that Brighton game, really. So I'll probably say 3-0. And I never bet against United, but I just have no hope for this team this season now. That's just where I'm at. So yeah, last time we had the season with it rocking, I just don't think that we'll rise to it. I hope I'm wrong, but I can't see anything different than that. Ericsson is a good shape from Brush there. I could see him go back to Spurs. I'll be honest. Do you see why he's
think so too.
Fans and stuff after Brentford played Spurs? Like, is it obviously he's still got a special place for Spurs in his heart, and I could see that maybe coming to fruition in the summer. I think that'd be a good move for all parties as well, to be fair, because he's a quality player, Ericsson.
He is.
And the last day always does throw up some random results, but Palace beating us at the moment, I wouldn't class as a random result. I think that's pretty much, most people expect that to happen, and that's where we're at the minute, isn't it? But thank you so much, Rich, for coming on. I appreciate it. Obviously, I have said I'll try and get on a show this weekend as well.
100%.
Yeah, in response to that game. But thank you. I appreciate it. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and I'll chat to you soon.
All the best.
Take care. Cheers, Rich. Bye. I've got Nicholas. How are we doing?
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good.
What do you want to talk about this evening?
Yeah, I want to talk about Frankie de Jong.
Okay. What's your
I
thoughts?
just like you, I don't know why he's chosen United over the other clubs. I mean, like, my only reasoning would be to reunite with his former manager.
Yeah, that's the only reason I can think of. I just don't understand why he would come to United from Barcelona at this current price. But it is a new project. Obviously, as you mentioned, he does know the manager. Donny coming back in as well. He'll be playing with a former teammate that he's aware of. Obviously, it's Manchester United, so we can still attract top players. Of course, we can, but a lot of times because we offer big money. And I'm hoping that with him, that's not the case. It is because of that, like you say. Yeah, someone just said your dinner looks nice. What are you eating there?
A seafood carbonara.
Nice. So yeah, can you actually feasibly see that happening though, Frankie de Jong? Like, do you believe those rumours?
Ooh, yes and no. I just don't know whether to believe the media anymore. Sometimes it's a bit of what Gattuso said. I'm not going to say it on here, but you know what I mean.
I do. And when it's United, we know what's going to happen, especially with a new manager, because we do obviously need some players. We're going to be linked with everybody. But yeah, what about Chelsea this season? I've mentioned Gallagher a few times on the stream already, obviously. Do you see him fitting into your
Yeah.
system next year?
The only way I see that happening is if Jorginho leaves, and then he will, and then Tuchel will rotate between Gallagher and Kovacic.
Yeah. Because Gallagher, obviously, to be fair, he's had a great season at Palace. He obviously loved life at Palace as well. If he is coming back to Chelsea, as Rich just mentioned, he's going to be wanting to start because he's going to want to get into that World Cup squad. It'd be an interesting one with him because I actually really rate him. I think he's quality. But that midfield of Chelsea is already very impressive, isn't it? So it's going to be a hard one for him to break into. Santiago said, what are your thoughts on the new ownership, Nick?
I'm not worried, honestly, because apparently in an interview, our new owner said he wants to come here to win, and he said he's also going to follow a Liverpool-style approach to all the transfers. So I'm not that worried. What I am going to say is, like you know how I think Kroenke gave an interview when he purchased Arsenal, saying, "Oh, we're just here for the money. We're not here to worry about winning." That's not what I'm. So this is why I'm not that worried about Todd as our new owner.
Yeah.
And I do think. I mean, yeah, go on.
I was going to say, I guess for you as a Chelsea fan, you're happy that, because obviously there's been so many rumours for a while now, everything's kind of been up in the air. To have that bit of security and that confirmation, I guess that feels nice as a fan, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, there are a lot of rival fans saying, yeah, Chelsea are getting liquidated and all that. Look,
yeah.
I would never wish liquidation on my worst enemy. Look, Arsenal, you know how much I hate Arsenal. It even says it in my title.
I did see that, yeah.
But I don't want. I would never wish liquidation on them, honestly.
Yeah. No, of course not. As football fans, I don't think you really want that at all. But as a fan, obviously, it would have been unsettling hearing those rumours and whatnot. So to actually have a new owner confirmed and whatnot, and like you say, you feel a bit confident with who's come in, that must be a nice feeling. Russell's just asked a good question as well about a player who will be leaving very, very soon, Rudiger. How do you feel about that? He's been great this season as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a sad one because he's been so good for us since we got our manager. But having said that, his replacement, I was looking, has not made a single error that has led to an opposition goal.
Yeah.
Jules Koundé. So yeah, I read this stat somewhere that during the entirety of his Sevilla career, Jules Koundé has not made a single error that has led to an opposition goal.
And you were close to signing him in January, weren't you?
Yeah, but then in last summer, but then Sevilla decided they were going to be. Yeah, they decided they were going to be dickheads and say, you know what, we're going to up the price to 70 million because they initially agreed like 40 million.
Yeah. Bye to Gaz. Take care, Gaz. Bruce said here, at the end of the day, rivalries are what makes football great. You never want to see the ops succeed, but you also wouldn't want them to be liquidated at the same time as well. Of course, that rivalries have to remain there, of course, and banter between fans and whatnot, it happens, doesn't it? But yeah, there is one step too far for sure. But in terms of Chelsea, obviously, you beat Leeds the other night. That tackle from Dan James, by the way, was a bit of a mad one, wasn't it? Like, where's that come from?
Initially, I actually said it wasn't a red card, but then I saw it on replay, and then I said, yeah, that's definitely a red.
Yeah, it was a dangerous tackle for sure. How would you summarise this season as a Chelsea fan to round off this score? Like, would you say you've been satisfied with this season?
If we beat, by the way, we have a goal update from North London.
Go on. What's the update? Tottenham
have scored.
Who scored?
Oh, wait. I think it was a false alarm by someone. Hold on.
Don't do this
Yeah.
to me, Nippon. Don't do this to me, Nippon.
No,
I'm
no,
checking it.
no. Sometimes it's sometimes I get false notifications.
Oh, okay. What do you think though about that North London derby? Like, where do you stand as a Chelsea fan in that one?
I honestly want Tottenham to win it because these Arsenal fans have been in my mentions all year on Twitter.
Yeah, of course I want Tottenham to win as well. I think we're all Tottenham tonight, apart from the Arsenal fans in the chat. Apologies for that, but yeah, we're all.
Yeah,
Tottenham
and some of the
tonight.
Chelsea fans who have this hatred towards. Yeah, I think someone was trolling. Someone was trolling. So
Yeah, he has pulled the cami. He's pulled the cami, Nippon. Has there?
Yeah, someone was trolling.
Actually, I think
me.
I was more the
Someone was
cami in that
trolling.
situation. Yeah, but honestly, Nippon, Chelsea this season, I think the squad that you have, the players that you have, the signings that you made, surely going into next season with Tuchel, like, what's your next steps for you, do you reckon, next season? Or where do you see yourself?
Look, if we get the right recruitment, I see us. Look, it's too early to tell since our ownership still has to get assent.
Yeah. Would you be happy with
But
just
hopefully
qualification for the Champions League?
I feel. I feel we will qualify because I do see one of the North London teams slipping up at some point, even after this game.
Yeah. This game is crucial, though, isn't it? Because obviously, if Arsenal win, the momentum you'd say is purely with them. Obviously, Spurs, on the other hand, with Conte in charge as well as Spurs winning, you kind of think Arsenal are right. Chelsea are obviously safe. Chelsea are safe, but it's Arsenal and Spurs obviously who are the two that you're unsure about at the minute. So this game is huge tonight, which is why I know a lot of people are going to be keen on watching it, as am I as well. But Nippon, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much as well for taking time while you're clearly having your dinner to come and chat to us. I appreciate that. And yeah, all the best for yourself, obviously, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, come on,
and
you
whatnot.
Spurs! Just for this one
course.
evening, come on, you Spurs!
Of course, we're all Spurs.
Yeah.
We're all Spurs. You take care. Look after yourself. Right, enjoy that dinner as well.
Yeah.
Take care.
See you soon.
Bye, Nippon. Bless. So there's Nippon eating his carbonara or wherever it was. Bless him. But yeah, Chelsea, obviously new ownership and whatnot as well. Next season, I think is going to be a very interesting one for them to see where they go. And my final call of this evening, I'm going to get Show on. Show's been waiting, bless, in the background for a while. So Show, I hope you're there. I'm about to get you onto the stream. There we go. How are you, Show? You okay? There he is.
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Show. Thanks for jumping on again. I appreciate it.
No
Plenty to
worries.
talk about, to be fair. What you're interested in chatting about tonight?
Just a heads up, if you see me keep looking up, I'm watching the game at the same time. So it's
No, honestly, keep me updated. Keep me updated.
No, it's no at the moment, so it's just like it's not. But no, how's everything?
Not too bad. I think we're all just waiting for the season to finish now, to be fair, in terms of United and football. And
tell me about it.
Pretty dire when you talk about United, to be fair. But me and myself, I'm not too bad, thank you. How yourself?
No, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Like I'm just like you, waiting for the last game of the season. Do we play Palace this weekend or next weekend?
Is it this weekend? You know what? I haven't even checked. That's how bad I am as a United fan this week at the moment. I'm just.
You know what? Like I don't even check like when we are playing the games because I know we've only got one game left, but some teams are free.
3 games, yeah. Yeah, 3 games.
We've only got one left though.
Yeah, everyone's last game of the season, isn't it always at the same time normally? Yeah, so it must be next weekend. Next weekend.
Okay. All right. So next weekend is finally over. Then
everyone will finish at the same time. If I'm wrong, isn't that normally what happens? Every game, last game is the same time.
It's a bit weird though, because the FA Cup finals this weekend though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the game that's this weekend.
Yeah. I don't know. I think. I mean, have you seen the news today? I mean, I think Sky just announced that Lewandowski is not going to sign a new contract at Bayern. So.
Really?
Yeah. So that's quite big news. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying we're going to go in for him, but I actually think he's going to go to Barcelona this summer, which is probably why they're trying to raise funds by, I guess, trying to sell. Because I think the interesting with the De Jong thing is I think Xavi wants to keep him, but I think the club want to sell him, and I think that's the issue that I think. I think Xavi would be probably quite unhappy if he loses Frankie, because I think he does rate him. Obviously, he does rate him, and I think he'd want to keep him. But I think Barca know they just have to raise funds, I mean, we know about the money troubles. I mean, I think they just announced today, Villa, that they signed Coutinho for 20 million. I mean, that's 100 million loss. Imagine, that's crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
just
crazy.
20.
It does that does give you that little glimmer of hope, doesn't it? That actually
Mm.
the rumours could be true. I'm not saying the Arsenal don't. Please don't take me for a source or anything like that. But
I think it's true that if Barca were to get a bid in the region that they, that they would think it's like sensible, that
Yeah.
I think they would sell him. I think that, I don't think that that's not true, because there's too many people that have reported it now for it to be true, right? You know what I mean? Normally, if it's just one person, you think, but I think a lot of people have said it, and I think it'd be a great signing for us, Frankie. I think. I mean, I'm not sure about this. McTominay swap.
I'll tell you that.
Did you read the Maguire thing a couple of weeks ago?
What's that? Which one?
Some media person, some reporter said that there was 3 players that which player was it that we were trying to sign from Barca? But they said they would consider 3 players in a swap deal. McTominay.
I did see something about Maguire linked to
Maguire.
Barcelona.
And I was like, there's
Yeah.
no chance. Why would Barca go from? Can you imagine Maguire in a Barca shirt? It'd just be hilarious. And some things that's people make
Ball
up. But
centre back.
yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Maguire,
no, I don't believe
Maguire
that.
and PK together, that would be hilarious. But I think Frankie would be a great signing for us. But I'm not sure about this 100 million budget thing, because I think it's more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's got to be. If we're going to rebuild, it's got to be surely. Pau Torres is another player that we've been linked with. Another one that I'd definitely be interested in. Obviously, we've been linked with him for a few seasons now. It depends on price for me.
The only thing is Torres and Varane together. Do you think that's a good partnership? I feel like you need one kind of aggressive centre back and one kind of.
Isn't that just a bit like Lindelof and Varane that most people vote in favour of at the minute, though? Like
That's
when
the thing.
you class
That's the
Torres
thing.
in that kind of caliber of player.
Torres, his playing style is a bit like Lindelof, and he's not that quick either. Do you see what I'm saying? So, as much as I like Pau Torres as a defender, I'm not sure he's the right partner for Varane. I think there's a penalty.
What makes you think it's going to be Varane? It could be Maguire.
Yeah, that's true.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Is there a penalty?
I think it's a penalty for Spurs. I've got it. Yeah, it's a penalty.
Cedric wipes him out. I've just seen a tweet.
Cedric wiped him out. Kane's about to. Kane's just putting the ball down now.
Let us know.
It's a penalty.
Suspense is unreal. Let us know if he scores or not.
Yeah. I'll let you know if he scores. But
come on, Spurs.
I think I like Pau Torres, but also Pau Torres is going to be quite expensive as well. Isn't he? Got like a 60 million release clause or something like that. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. All the players that we want, they're gonna. The thing is, anyone we buy is gonna be expensive. It's not, I mean,
we're gonna get ripped off unless it's players who are near the end of the contract or players that deeply want to come to United.
Exactly.
Then you have to question the motives there as well. So
yeah, unless you go for frees, but even the frees are players that are like would want to have big wages, like someone like I scored 1-0. Yeah, scored. Yes.
Get in.
But
I don't know any Spurs chance, but yeah, get in.
I don't know. I don't know.
We
Spurs. We can't do that. We can't do that kind of stuff.
I don't know any. I don't know any.
Yeah. No.
To be fair, they're beating Arsenal, so we can kind of say about it briefly. No, I think that's where we're at United fans at a minute.
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
Any bit of satisfaction that we can get.
Do you know what's sad? I was watching the Brighton game, and literally, like, as the goals were going in, I'm just like laughing. I'm not even angry.
No, I'm
just laughing.
No.
And I seen like some of like Flex's like United V stream when like they were there watching it in the studio. I mean, I'm glad for.
When they're doing the impressions.
Oh yeah, I'm glad for Flex that didn't travel down to Brighton on Saturday. Bloody hell, man! Like he would have been pissed having to do them interviews afterwards, getting ripped.
They should have refunded them fans, man. But you never hear anything like that.
It's classless, isn't it? I think Cam said that on the stream. He goes, "Look, I want to hear from the club. They're going to refund those fans that travelled down, and they didn't. You know what I mean? Poor Adam as well, innit? He bloody travels to every game, innit? And
I know.
Bloody, I don't know how he does it. Honestly, I wouldn't have
That's a good thing.
That's a real like hardcore fan that like you know what I mean. Like imagine at this stage of the season, we've been battered about 5-6 times this season, and still travelling down to Brighton when we've only got 6 places to play for, and he's probably going to go down
to the Liverpool game. Mate. 5-0. I was there. I stayed to the end.
He's probably going to go down to Palace as well. That's a trek for him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Fair.
That's
mad. Fair And
yeah, fair
we're
play to
gonna
you.
get battered at Palace as well, by the way.
At least we can turn the TV off and we can just go and get on with our days.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
there, you've got to
that's
sit in the car all the way home and probably listen
yeah.
to
Because
the
it's
radio
sad.
talking about it. And
Yeah, because it's sad how detached we are as fans, isn't it, from the game? Because I'm watching the Brighton one, we're losing 4-0. I'm just like, it's just like normally, like, you know, when
it's
United lose, like,
emotionless.
yeah, like, you know, back when I was like really feeling it, when United were losing, like it ruined my weekend, like completely just
Yeah.
it ruined my week. But I'm watching the Brighton, I'm just thinking, like, honestly, like, I wouldn't have expected us to lose 4-0, but even us losing, I'm just like, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I'd say up until about 10 games ago, it still ruined my whole mood.
yeah. I think
ruined it. And then
I'll
I've
say
kind of became
up
numb
until
to it.
up until the Atleti second leg game,
Yeah.
you know. That's when I think after that, I think the players really started to down tools after that game.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the sad thing is, I didn't even realize. I didn't realize until they stated it on Saturday. But we haven't won away from home since February.
When you look at Ollie's record, it's mad, isn't it? How we gone from one extreme to that? It's
Like Leeds away. Leeds away was our last away game, and that's ages ago. Like, it
That was
feels
a
like
great
a
game
long
as well.
time ago.
Yeah.
Like back then, we were like properly in control.
That was the
of
first
fourth
time we
place.
scored a corner.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's another one.
Oh
There's
my
another
God.
stat to throw in there.
That's probably
Alex,
the last time we scored that many
Yeah.
goals in that game as well. We only scored 4 goals in that game.
Our goals this season has been a joke. Conceded and for, to be fair. Alex, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. This is a good question, actually. Let's go through a lineup, yeah? Next season, no holds bars. You can sign anybody. Let's keep it a bit realistic. Let's talk
Okay.
about players that we could sign. So, for example, I'm not going to go all out and say,
Keeper's easy, isn't it? It's going to be De Gea.
yeah. Right back?
Right back's a tricky one.
I've written
I
Lamptey
don't.
here.
Oh, we can sign
What?
any. Okay. So we're not being okay. Well, let's just put.
But if I was signing anyone, I'd put like Hakimi in my defence. I'd put, you know what I mean? Alphonso Davies. Like,
Any
that
right
ain't
back.
realistic. I'm going to try and be a bit realistic with it.
Any right back. Lamptey's probably the best shout. Right backs are hard. There's not many good ones about, you know.
Yeah, Lamptey.
I'll go Lamptey. Centre backs.
So we'll have Varane, say.
Let's say Varane.
You know, Varane ain't been great this season, but I'm hoping next season he can
He's
push
been
on.
shit. Varane and I guess we'll have to go Pau Torres, isn't it?
I'll put Timber there, you know. Even though I don't think it's going to happen. I would like to sign him.
I don't like Timber's height, you know. He's short.
He's rapid, though.
He's rapid, but he's 5'10", you know.
Yeah. True. So he's going to be Torres or Timber, let's say. Torres / Timber.
Okay, let's go Torres or Timber. Left
back? See, this is hard because, you know, Luke Shaw at top form. I know people are probably banting.
I'm so done with Luke Shaw.
Think of him in the Euros, yeah? How mad he was. With a new manager coming in,
but then we might as well say Maguire was sick for England at the Euros. Let's give him a chance.
That's what I think. That's what I said earlier. It could be someone partnering Maguire, not Varane. That's why I said that comment. So I was thinking, with a new manager coming in,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Ten Hag will keep patience with Maguire or Shaw. Honestly,
you can't. No, you can't. You can't put it with
sign any I don't even know if there's any left backs out there that we could. I'm trying to think of a left back. I don't know. I don't know who this guy is though. That's the thing. I know we've been linked to going to see Alphonso Davies.
All jokes aside, I did have Alphonso Davies as my left back on FIFA. I did sign him.
Well, if we can sign anyone no holds barred, let's just say Alphonso Davies then. So, might as well.
This is mad draft. Davies / Shaw. It's a difference.
And then in defense, let's say Frankie De Jong then. I'm gonna say
De Jong,
I'm gonna say De Jong and mine is gonna be De Jong and Tchouaméni.
I would take him to fair. I'm thinking if Donny comes back and he gets that form that he had at
but he said no holds barred in it, so I'm gonna say De Jong and Tchouaméni.
De Jong, Donny, Bruno obviously in front. Bruno needs to improve mad though if he's gonna be playing.
Bruno has to learn how to to stop doing these. Some of these passes I saw against Brighton from Bruno, just like hoiking it up in the air. I'm like, mate, he's got to stop it. But let's keep Bruno in it. We can't get a whole new free midfield.
We're based on top form. Let's say that. Based on top form.
Let's say Bruno plays right wing.
So, Sancho.
But the thing is, we're linked to a right wing, aren't we? We're linked to Anthony, and even though Nkunku plays kind of as a centre forward, we're kind of linked with him as well, isn't it? I prefer Nkunku over Anthony, so I'm going to say Nkunku right wing.
Nkunku right wing, Sancho left.
And then up front, Darwin Núñez.
I've read some tweets today about Darwin. To be fair,
he's the only striker we can go for. I can't see any other target.
No,
I can't see any other striker. I mean, there's the Richarlison
Lewandowski,
thing, isn't it?
but that doesn't make sense.
No, we won't
If you're
because
building for the future,
can
it
you have
doesn't make
Lewandowski? You can't have Ronaldo and Lewandowski
Imagine.
sitting on the bench. That's
Imagine.
ridiculous. That's
Can you imagine?
ridiculous. Can you imagine the wage? Nah, it's too much wages.
Yeah, that's what I mean. At this stage, it doesn't make unless Ronaldo
Yeah.
leaves and we need a short-term fix because
That's
we
the
haven't really
thing.
got our.
But if
sorted,
Ronaldo leaves, where would he go?
that's the thing with wages and money.
Yeah, I
Spence,
just don't see.
Spence was the other one I was trying to think of. I was trying to think.
The only thing is, I've seen Spence here, and his defending style is very similar to Wan-Bissaka. He is a bit of a slide tackle merchant.
But he can control the ball and run with it.
But attacking wise, it's not hard to beat Wan-Bissaka, is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do like Spence. I just don't know whether going from Nottingham Forest to United in one season is the best. Is the best.
I can't really comment too much on him. I'll be honest. I'm not going to sit here and act like a genius. The first time I really heard much about him was when he came out those quotes and saying that
but it's a big jump, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But what about Ethan Laird? You think Ethan Laird will get games next season?
Another interesting.
I like him a lot.
Similar to Ghana. I think he had a decent season last season, and I think they deserve pre-season. I think Ten Hag should have a look at them definitely.
I think them two have had successful spells where you can say, we can integrate them in the squad. You know what I mean? Whereas I'm looking at players like Brandon Williams. It's to be fair, it's harsh on him because he's been at a terrible Norwich side. And then I look at someone like Jong. I think he's been okay at Birmingham.
Been injured a bit as well, hasn't he?
I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened to Twanzebe at Villa. I ain't seen him play for about 4 months. So I don't know what's happened to him. I don't see.
Twanzebe's one of these players where,
prone,
I was going to say, look, whenever he finally starts to hit his stride, he does pick up an injury, and that's the concern about it.
It was like
when he is fit, I think got all the right attributes: quick, tall, strong. You just need to see him fit for that long period of time, really.
I don't think he's a particularly good defender, Twanzebe, though. Like I've seen also, like I know, like Ted Mendy.
I always think about that game against PSG when he was just class.
Yeah, but he played in a back three that game.
Yeah, and it suited him perfectly.
In a back two, I wouldn't trust him. Like
I agree.
I can imagine him and Varane together. I think it'd be a disaster.
They need someone else in there to stabilise it.
Could
be Maguire, to be fair. I don't know what you're saying it. But
do you think he'll be captain next season?
I don't think he'll be captain, but I think he'll stay.
Who do you think will be captain?
De Gea, Bruno, Ronaldo, if he's still there, could possibly be. To be fair,
Ronaldo. I think they could give Ronaldo it for 1 season to give, let's say, whoever we sign, all the new signings, 1 season to adapt, and then next summer we say, this guy's had 1 season at the club. He has the personality to take over from Ronaldo, kind of thing.
I think we've had 2 players turn up this season in this really tough season, and that's De Gea and Ronaldo. So I would be looking at
the only thing is De Gea as a captain. There's 2 things.
To be fair, though, he's been the one who's had the balls to come out and talk after games. And
he
he's
talks
very
well,
often the man who's.
But on the pitch, I don't really like keepers as captains as well.
Yeah, like Lloris is captain for.
Lloris is captain, but he's also captain of France, though. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And imagine the amount of characters France have, and he's the captain, so it says a lot. Ronaldo. I could probably see Ronaldo, but it'd be interesting to see if Ten Hag makes that decision straight away. Like as soon as he comes, he just goes, "That's it, Maguire, you're not captain." And that also makes it easier not to play Maguire. Also, if that's the route he's gonna go down. But that's another thing. Like if he goes to the board and says, "Look, I don't even want Maguire as a squad player," would the board say, "Yeah, we'll sell him"? Oh, is it red card?
Who?
Gabriel. Someone's been sent off for Arsenal.
For Arsenal? Wow,
I think it's the last man. I think it's Rob Holding. Rob Holding's been sent off here. Last man is taken. He's taken someone out. Bloody hell, Arsenal falling apart here.
Right, I'm gonna have to go and watch this.
I'm
falling apart. Is it enough to lift anyone else's?
Me staying on.
You're my commentator at the minute.
No, I've ruined this for you by staying on the.
No, honestly, trust me, it's like I said, just it's therapy for me. Like being able to talk to people. I want to try and get this done every single week.
Dyer, it's just a long ball. It's shit defending. Oh yeah, that is a red. Holding's just elbowed. He just elbowed Son in the face.
Wow.
It's a long ball. It's honestly horrific defending. And it's last. I think he's been sent off for an elbow. So it's not last man. He's elbowed him in the face. So that's it done. 10 men.
Interesting.
Obviously, you know how Son is. He's milking it. He's up now. He's seen that he's got the red card, so he's all fine now. But
he's all right now. Magic sponge and all that. He's fine.
10 men.
Mad. That game's gonna get interesting now because Arsenal, you'd think, obviously, gonna have to be a bit more disciplined. But
one thing about Arsenal I'd say is since they've every game I've seen them gone down to 10 men this season,
They've got
actually
better with
done. They've got they've done it in big games as well. I think they went down 10 men against City. They should have won that game. They went down 10 men against Liverpool at Anfield. They drew that game. So yeah, I don't know. You never know with Arsenal, but bloody hell, yeah, Rob Holding sent off.
Mystic Alex here said, I said
shit.
earlier,
Yeah.
someone had been sent off. Future predictor. I also called Real Madrid beating Man City last week 3-1. Mad. You need to. Are you this mad lottery number? There's someone who's won a lottery ticket in the UK who's won 183 million or something.
You know what? Fair play, because I didn't call City going out. I
didn't.
I felt like an idiot, because before, when Real Madrid went through, I said City would beat them 6-2 on aggregate. So
I didn't see it. City, I think
they would win comfortably, because I just thought Real Madrid, with their aging team, I just thought City wouldn't. I just think they wouldn't be able to keep up with City.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I thought that, but that home edge obviously helped them.
Yeah,
The fact that Champions League and
thought with the
legs.
legs. I just thought with the
mad.
legs City had over Real Madrid. I just thought.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't see City, Real Madrid scoring 6 goals against them on aggregate. That shocked me, because City, defensively, they've been a lot better this season. But
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was a bit of a shock to me. But
and we're all Real Madrid in that final, of course.
that's the only thing I'm glad about, that we have a team to support in the final, because City Liverpool, that I honestly would have. It would have been hard for me to watch it.
Even though I would have hated it, I would have still supported City, and that's terrible.
It would have been hard for me to watch that. Honestly, City versus Liverpool would have been hard for me to watch.
All I've been hearing all season is quadruple this, quadruple that, and I just don't want to see that. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I never thought they were going to do the quadruple, because I just thought City always kind of not in control of the title race, but I never really saw them slipping up points wise.
Yeah.
And I think they've got, was it West Ham and someone else? I can't think of who else they've got, but I think City will win the league. I think City will. They've got the goal difference advantage as well, which is it's like a big advantage. And the thing about City winning the league is I don't mind it, because no one ever talks about City winning the league, because no one gives a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Liverpool, you're the last of it. So
I said to I think someone yesterday, City did the domestic treble. No one talks about it.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You know what I mean, and it's a big achievement, domestic treble. No one had ever done it before. And yet no one talks about it, because no one gives a shit, because everyone knows City spent $1 billion, and you should be winning the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so You're doing,
especially now you got Haaland, definitely. That's
a good transfer.
I agree.
To be honest.
Obviously, we're all Real Madrid in that final, and I do think City are going to win the league.
100%.
Yeah, I think especially the goal difference now is just too strong. Man, they've just been so clinical in the last few games. They've gone from strength to, after that obviously Madrid disappointment. They've just gone. It's almost like going, you know what? Let's just go and smash it now for the rest of the season. And they've got no remorse. Like they've just been battering teams.
Yeah.
And I think their ruthlessness, definitely. But it's been an absolute pleasure to get you on. Thank you so much. Apologies for keeping you waiting, but I appreciate you waiting. 2-0. Who scored?
It's 2-0. Kane again. It's a header from a corner. It's 2-0.
Arsenal foot crumbling. Get in. I can't say about too much, because we're so crap, but I'm glad Arsenal are losing.
This is how sad it is, isn't it? It's so sad.
Exactly,
it's so sad. Oh man.
Honestly,
thanks a lot for having me on.
As a United fan, I'm buzzing every time I get a question right in the chase at the minute. That's my excitement, because I just can't deal with United at the moment. No, a pleasure. Honestly, show. Hopefully, I'll talk to you again soon.
Mine.
Thank you so much for coming on. Have a lovely rest of your evening. Take care.
Cheers,
See ya.
Take care.
Bye. There's show. Kane's on a hat trick. I'm definitely going to shoot now and watch the rest of that game. Thank you to all my guests who've come on. I really appreciate it. Obviously, I will do one of these every week and keep you guys informed. This week's just been mad, but I thank you so much for sticking with me. Thanks everyone in the chat. Thanks to Alex for that super chat as well. I appreciate it. Great question as well. Fingers crossed United do sign a lot of the players we've been talking about. Fingers crossed that we do get players who buy into our system, players who want to fight for the badge and play for the shirt, rather than people who just want the money. Because let's face it, we're not going to be in Champions League next season. So the type of play we get, we need to be very acute in who we get in the market. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to have to watch the North London derby. If you are new, please hit that sub button on Ladies in Red. Hit a like on the video as well. And obviously drop a comment if I have missed you. Love to yourself. Thank you so much from Nepal. Catchphrase is my show, Brush. We need to try and find a way of doing a catchphrase show on Ladies in Red, because honestly, I'm class at it, and I'm up for the challenge. And Scrabble as well. I'll challenge any of you to Scrabble. We need to definitely try and sort that somehow. I'm going to look at the logistics of sorting that. But guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. George, I'm not sure if he's in the chat. If you watch this back, please drop a comment afterwards and let people know where your channel is as well. But everyone, take care, please. Look after yourselves, stay positive, and I'll see you all soon.